Hi, so I finally got my Natasha Denona mini Starlette palette and I'm gonna test it out today. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It means so much to me, and now let's get into it. Okay, so here's what the palette looks like. I do really like that they changed this cardboard packaging so you can see all the colors. I think the previous mini palettes didn't have this window that you can see through. I think it looks so much better like this, and you can actually see the shades in store, which is really nice. My hands are stained from baking, so just ignore that. Now I got mine from Cold Beauty and it was 27 euros, but I did use a 20% discount code, so it was a bit less than that. So here's what the palette looks like. Let's open her. I haven't opened it, I haven't swatched it yet, but I do have to say, when I opened the box and when I saw this palette, I thought that this was the Mini Biba palette. I literally had to check the name because I thought this was Mini Biba, which is already not a great start, but let's see. I'm gonna compare them later to see if I was crazy or if they're really similar. I do really like these Natasha Denona mini palettes. I do have quite a few, and I feel like they're really practical, I guess, because you can travel with them. You can create a very beautiful look with not much thought process going into it, I guess, because you literally have 5 shades and it is very easy to create a look. So I do really like this format of Natasha Denona palettes. And here is the mini Starlette palette. I mean, it is really pretty, but I'm just not sure if it's that different from all the other minis I have. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these shades. I'm gonna start from this one. This one is called Per Sec. I love the tone of this shade. It's a really nice cool toned transition. Now this one is called Ria. I don't know. I'm just gonna put the names on the screen per usual. Okay, this one is stunning. I think this is one of her new formulas because this is the new formula that really reminds me of Pat McGrath's special shades, because it is so glittery and so reflective. Okay, I love that shade. Now let's swatch this one. This one is called Vega. Now we have the other shimmer shade. This one is called Galaxia. Why do I even try and pronounce these names? Galaxia. This one is not as sparkly as the first one. It's like a true metallic shade. And the last one is called Nude Mauve. Okay, that is such a gorgeous color story. I feel like it looks a lot prettier swatched than in the pans here. It kind of looks a bit washed out in this little compact, but when it's swatched, it's a really beautiful palette actually. Okay, so I just applied my Rare Beauty eye primer and I stabbed myself in the eye, so that's why it's a bit watery. But let's move on. Now I feel like with these mini Natasha Denona palettes, you don't have much versatility. You're pretty much gonna get the same look no matter what you do. I do love that for traveling because it's just so easy to get a beautiful look, but it's just not as versatile. So basically, I'm just gonna use all the shades and create a look. So let's start. I'm gonna take this ColourPop E2 brush. It's a really nice, large, fluffy brush, and I'm gonna go into the lightest matte shade here. I do wish that maybe instead of this very light shade there was like a really dark shade so you can make this smoky, because I feel like these shades would look so good in like a smoky eye. I wish it was like a dark, like a dark purpley black. I think that would make this palette a lot more versatile, because then you could create a really nice smoky eye. I'm just gonna use this as my first transition. Now this shade does show up on my skin tone, but I'm pretty pale, so if you're any deeper than me, I don't think that this would really show up. So I just don't think this shade was really necessary in this palette. Okay, now I'm gonna take this smaller fluffy brush. This is the ColourPop E9 brush, and I'm gonna dip into the second lightest shade, so this one right here. And I'm also gonna use this in my crease. I just feel like this was enough for a transition shade. We just didn't need this lighter pinky shade. I do love the tones of this palette. It's like a really beautiful cool tone mauve-y palette. I do feel like it's more unique than I initially thought. And these mattes perform beautifully. Okay, now I'm gonna take an even smaller brush. This is the ColourPop E27, and I'm gonna dip into this darkest shade, and let's see how dark this look can actually get. I'm just gonna start in my outer corner. Yeah, I mean, that's not pretty dark. That's what I'm saying. I just wish there was like a really dark shade. Because this is like pretty light. It's not even like a mid-toned shade. It's like borderline a light shade. I'm gonna go back to this ColourPop E9 brush, and I'm gonna blend a bit more with this brush. I love these tones. I do have to say, these tones are so beautiful and so unique to my collection as well, which is really nice. I'm just gonna try and build this shade a bit more. But I think this is as dark as it's gonna get. I mean, that is really beautiful, and the mattes perform so good, but I just wish there was a darker matte shade. I think that a darker matte shade could take this look to another level and make it even more beautiful and smoky. But I mean, that is really pretty. Okay, now I'm gonna use this darker metallic shade in the center of my lid. It feels really creamy, so let's see. Yeah, that is really pretty. I think that's all I'm gonna do with that shade, because I really want to try this sparkly shade. So let's just use that. Yeah. These new shimmery shades are insane. Okay, that is actually so pretty. It has like purple glitter particles throughout it. It looks so beautiful and so like, I don't know, fairy. It's just so pretty. I love this shade. It is such a unique shade. And I just love that she did this with her formula, because these are so similar to Pat McGrath special shades. Okay, now I'm just gonna go back to this ColourPop E27 brush, and I'm gonna blend the shimmer and the matte just so there's no harsh lines. This was such a quick look to do. It literally took me, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe a bit more because I was talking, but it's such a quick look to do, but it is so stunning. Even just this sparkly shade all over the lid would look so beautiful. I'm gonna add a bit more of this shade, why not? Like, it is actually insane. I am in love with this shimmery shade. That is so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go and quickly do this on the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished the other eye and I also did my base. Now let's do lower lash line. I don't do much on lower lash line at all, so I think I'm just gonna take this shade right here and I'm gonna put this on my lower lash line. And I'm using this ColourPop E3 brush. I just love these tones for my green eyes. I feel like they make my eyes pop so much, and I really don't own a palette with these kind of tones. Another thing that this palette does not have is really an inner corner shade for my skin tone at least. So I'm gonna go into this Rose Ink highlighter in the shade Opalescent. It's like a really nice pinky shade, and I'm gonna use this in my inner corners and on my brow bone as well, because I do like a bit of highlight in my inner corners. Now I'm just gonna add a bit more of this shimmery shade all over my lid, because I feel like it's kind of looking harsh here where the matte ends, so I just want to tone that down a bit. Okay, I'm just gonna go and quickly curl my lashes and apply mascara, and I'll be back to show you the finished eye look. For mascara, I just used this Essence Lash Princess Mascara, the pink one, and here's the finished eye look. Okay, I just zoomed you out a bit so we can compare this new mini Starlette palette to some of the other mini palettes I own. So I'm gonna start from Mini Biba. I'm just gonna put them side by side and then I'm gonna swatch them. Okay, so the one on top is Mini Biba and the one on the bottom is the new Mini Starlette palette. I think they're honestly very similar. The Mini Biba is just a bit more pinky, a bit more warmer, while this one is a bit more mauvey, a bit more cool tone, but they are kind of similar. So I'm gonna quickly swatch Mini Biba on this hand so we can compare them. Okay, so this one is Mini Biba and this one is the new Starlette eyeshadow palette. The new Mini Starlette palette is so much creamier, it swatches so much better, the quality is definitely improved, and the color story, honestly, they're kind of similar, just basically this one is a bit more warmer and this one is a bit more cool toned. They're very similar, but I do feel like both have a place in my collection because this one is warmer and this one is cool toned. So yeah, and also this shimmery shade is so much more sparkly than this one. They're definitely similar, but not similar enough to me personally, because the tones are just a bit different. The other neutral palette that I have is Mini Nude. Honestly, these are kind of very different. Mini Nude is, again, a lot more neutral, a lot more warmer compared to the Starlette. I don't think they're similar at all, but I'm gonna swatch the mini nude as well. Okay, so I swatched it here because I'm running out of space, so you can see they're just not very similar at all. I feel like the mini nude is more similar to the mini Viva. Yeah, just not very similar in my opinion. And the last palette I have to compare is the mini Glam palette. This one is cool toned, but yeah, again, I just don't feel like they are that similar. So this is mini Starlette and this is mini Glam. Okay, that's really kind of crooked, but whatever. This is mini Glam and this is the mini Starlette palette. So they're again very different. This one is like a true cool tone palette, while this one does have some warmth and some mauviness to it. So again, not very similar in my opinion. Okay, so honestly, I'm kind of impressed. When I saw this palette online and when I received it as well, I literally thought it looks the same as all the other like mini neutrals, because I think I have all the neutral minis. I do also have mini bronze, but that one really does not compare to this one at all. I just didn't think that this one would stand out, but it honestly does. It is a lot more mauvey. Like none of these other neutral palettes have this purple mauvey hue to them, and that's what makes this palette stand out. And also this shimmery shade is so much sparklier and so much more glittery than all the other shimmers and in all the other neutral palettes. So honestly, this palette stands on its own, and it is honestly quite unique. And I'm also very happy about that, because honestly, I bought this palette to review it. I probably wouldn't have bought it if I didn't have a channel, because like I said, I have all the other neutrals. I didn't think I needed this one, but I'm so happy that I actually bought it, because it is so unique, and I think it actually might be my favorite neutral one out of them all, because I feel like this mauvey hue just makes my eyes pop, and I think it's the most flattering out of them all on my skin tone and with my green eyes. So I'm just so happy that I actually bought this one and that I have it, and it's definitely gonna get a lot of use and a lot of love from me. But yeah, if you have all of these other mini neutral palettes from Natasha Denona, this one is honestly different and unique in my opinion. So if you do get this one, you're not gonna have any repeat shades, and honestly this shimmer alone to me is worth it, because it is such a stunning shimmery shade. I mean, can you just see how much glittery this one is compared to, let's say, this one or any of these? It is so much glimmery and glittery, and the formula is just so improved and so much better in my opinion. So this is definitely worth it in my opinion. It is a very unique, a very special little palette, so I'm very positively surprised, honestly. I'm so excited that I actually got this palette, and I cannot wait to use it even more. So yeah, I'm really happy I decided to purchase it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.